Straight ahead on 12 News, a donation you could say is priceless.
The woods over there is all going to be Plymouth.
Then, a battle of the badges to deliver another priceless gift. But first, they are a big piece of the economy.
Everything you purchase is basically hauled by truck at one point or another.
Why the trucking industry needs more drivers for the long haul. 12 News starts right now. If you have it, chances are a truck delivered it.
85% of all manufactured goods are transported by trucks, but finding qualified truck drivers is becoming increasingly difficult, and that's leading one company to take matters into its own hands.
Getting out on the road and delivering the freight is really rewarding to me.
Brian Foster has 18 wheels beneath him and a big responsibility in front of him as he heads to Maple Grove for a freight pickup.
You're driving something around that's basically the size of a house, behind you. You really got to watch what you're doing.
He's new to this job and he loves it.
I think it's great. I'm really enjoying it, so. I've always been kind of fascinated by the freight process, the freight moving process.
But the trucking industry is in the middle of a long haul.
As the economy grows, we just need more people to haul the freight.
Right now, there's an estimated shortage of up to 25,000 truck drivers. That could balloon to 239,000 in less than 10 years.
There are many factors that go into causing the shortage today, but fundamentally, we don't have people with the experience to qualify them to put them behind the truck.
You post a job, you cross your fingers, and you hope some good folks show up.
Ron Morey knows the challenge of finding qualified drivers. It's why his company took matters into its own hands.
You come out, you work our dock for a few months, you load the trucks, you unload, and then we put you into our driving schools with no charge to it.
Conway Freight launched its own in-house driver training school. New students start here in the dock getting paid to load trucks before the company places them here. It's a tuition-free 12-week comprehensive schooling program where students get their license while the company gets a newly trained driver.
It worked out just perfect, actually.
Brian Foster finished the program after being laid off from the printing industry.
I thought, well, here's my chance to do something I really want to do. So
His new job pays more, and the short-haul work means he's home at night with family. It's a career he can see sticking with for the long haul. Salaries vary for truck drivers, but those coming out of the program we highlighted start at between $45,000 and $55,000.
Churches are a refuge for some people, and during this heat wave, they are also a place to seek relief. Redeemer Covenant Church in Brooklyn Park is one of several places in the area to open its doors to people seeking a break from this week's extreme heat. Pastor Stephen Larson saw the need because of the city's aging population and new Americans who may not know where to seek help.
I had been through the heat wave in Chicago in 1995 where we saw the problems that come. Churches are in locations, we're right between apartment buildings. That's how I got connected and got a hold of Chief Trilliman of the Brooklyn Park Fire Department and said, what can we do as churches for the community?
The Brooklyn Park Fire Department distributed water to each of the churches. There's even Wi-Fi access if you need it. Redeemer Covenant, Brookdale Covenant, the Salvation Army Noble Worship Center, the Brooklyn Park Police South Precinct, and Brooklyn Park's Fire Station number 2 are all serving as cooling centers. They'll be open from 10 until 7 through Saturday. The Plymouth residents are getting a unique gift from one of their own.
A longtime resident is donating some land. It's located right across from the Hollydale Golf Course in the northwest part of Plymouth. Reporter Sonia Goins shows us Roger Schmidt's unique gift.
This is the woods that a lot of it will be donated.
Roger Schmidt,
It's peaceful.
also known as Pete, has a piece of paradise in Plymouth.
It's part of the big woods, what they call the big woods, many years back. That's me when I was 2.
He and his family have owned this land for decades,
Everything's, native woods.
and he's now sharing it with the rest of the world.
So I was thinking, well, that's a good deal.
He recently gave almost 3 acres of land to the city of Plymouth.
I just felt like, why should I be so lucky? I raised my family here, and I thought, well, why shouldn't we share it?
He wants the rest of us to see what he and his family see all the time.
The woods over there is all going to be Plymouth. straight on out. The wildlife is all in here, you know, deer and coyotes.
The land will be used as a park.
It'll be a Schmidt Woodland Park. It'll be a walking park. That's what I envision. The garden is up there.
Pete's Garden will also be part of the park.
It'll be the city of Plymouth, but I have use of it for 10 years. That's my sugar camp. Right there, you can see through the swing set.
The Schmidt family will continue to tap the maple trees for syrup
That's part of my life.
on the donated land.
It's a family tradition. It keeps me alive.
The donation is a sweet deal
Yeah.
for the city
Yeah, I know. People look at it and say, oh my golly.
and for the Schmidt family.
I'm just happy, you know. Yeah, I just feel like it's what we're supposed to do.
In Plymouth, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
For now, the city of Plymouth is reserving the land for future park space. They hope to acquire more nearby land to build a community park.
50 years ago today, Martin Luther King delivered his famous I Have a Dream speech at the March on Washington, and local educators want to make sure that today's generation understands the significance of that day. This afternoon, North Hennepin Community College's Chief Diversity Officer, Michael Burchard, spoke to a group of students about the civil rights movement and the role Dr. King played to help fight for equality among people of all colors. And even 50 years after King's speech, Burchard says he's keeping King's legacy going at North Hennepin by getting students to work together on various campus projects.
What we say is that the civil rights movement didn't end on April 4th, 1968, on that tragic day when Martin Luther King was assassinated, and that it's our responsibility to carry on that legacy and to keep making that differences and keep making those changes.
Burchard also shared a personal experience with the students about how he befriended one of the organizers of the March on Washington. Well, coming up, something parents shouldn't forget when doing their back-to-school shopping.
And later in sports, Osseo and Maple Grove go head-to-head in girls and boys soccer.
But first, relief from the heat is coming. The latest AccuWeather forecast models show highs of 70 degrees on Labor Day. One of Golden Valley's most popular parks is getting a makeover, and the city wants resident input. The city is replacing all of the playground equipment at Brookview Park. The new playground will likely be split into two sections, one for toddlers and one for other kids ages 6 to 12. Residents can give feedback on the Golden Valley City website.
A familiar face is returning to the halls of Cooper High School. Christina Hester is the school's new principal, replacing Mike Favor. Hester started out as a student teacher at Cooper and has 11 years of experience working in the Robbinsdale district. She spent the past 3 years working as a principal in the North St. Paul, Maplewood, and Oakdale district. Hester says she's excited to be back at Cooper, saying she missed the diversity. Nearly 70% of the school's student body are students of color. Back to school shopping is the second biggest retail season of the year.
This year, the National Retail Federation says shoppers will spend 8% less than they did last year. But did you know some of your purchases could be tax deductible? 12 News reporter Shannon Slatton has that tip in today's Money Savers.
It's hard to believe, but back to school time is here. We have a few tips for you today on how to save money after you shop for school supplies.
From the binders to the backpacks, buying school supplies can hit your pocketbook hard.
The average family, they say, is spending $674 per student for grades K through 12.
We go beyond the sales and coupons with Skip Johnson at Great Waters Financial in New Hope to see what else you can do to save money on supplies.
We're spending money and we know we have to, but at least there are some deductions and credits that can help out a little bit with that.
With the Minnesota Education Deduction, you can deduct some school supplies, like tuition expenses for private school, after-school enrichment, college tuition if the class also meets high school requirements, even some music lessons, plus field trip fees, musical instruments, calculators, driver's education fees on a class offered by the school, and $200 can go toward computer hardware or software. Now here's a list of what is not deductible. Sports camps or lessons, school clothes or uniforms, travel expenses for overnight class trips, or school snacks or treats.
What many people don't know, you can use both the deduction and the tax credit. And once again, we just have to save expenses, save receipts, and be able to validate expenses.
In New Hope, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
To use the tax credit, you must meet certain income requirements, and we've posted a link to the Minnesota Legislature's publication on the education deduction and tax credit on our website. Just go to 12.tv. Save those receipts. You'll be happier on April 15th.
That's right. Come the spring.
Well, coming up, local firefighters and police officers roll up their sleeves to respond to a different kind of emergency.
But first in sports, a new coach leads Brooklyn Center into the football season. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back.
Well, John Jacobson now with sports. The heat's been on everybody's mind for about 3 or 4 days now, and changing the schedule a little bit, probably a good thing for athletes.
Yeah, and some games and matches have been canceled, and some, like this one, just moved to a different time. Our heat wave has changed some schedules for high school events this week. The Osseo and Maple Grove boys soccer teams got some relief from the heat by switching their game from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Tuesday. Osseo visiting Maple Grove under the lights. Maple Grove's Kevin Huff with the corner kick. Ryan Peterson heads it in, and the Crimson take a 1-0 lead. Late in the first half, Shiro Cordo delivers a great pass to Emery Can, who slams it home. After Maple Grove gets the better of things for much of the half, Osseo gets a momentum boost by tying it up 1-1. And the Orioles go in front here as the pass comes ahead to Patrick Pay. It's onside, and Pay dribbles it in and buries the shot. That's the game winner. And the Orioles win it 2-1. Last fall, Osseo's girls soccer team had a rough season while Maple Grove won the Northwest Suburban Conference title. But the Orioles shocked the Crimson in a huge upset in the opening round of the Section 5 AA tournament. They met up again in an early evening match before the boys played. First half, Maple Grove's Amanda Travis follows up the block shot to score. That ball just gets over the goal line. The Crimson lead it 1-0 at halftime. 13 minutes into the second half, and it's Michelle Jankarik with a beautiful corner kick and a great header. Madison Carey with the goal. Worth another look. Carey's goal makes it 2-0 Maple Grove. And the Crimson close out the scoring 9 minutes later. Caroline Griffith heads in the nice cross as Maple Grove wins its first game of the season after 2 ties. 3-0 is the final. The Hopkins Volleyball team is ranked 5th in this week's Coaches Association State Class 3A poll. The Royals hosted the 9th-ranked team in Class 2A, Jordan, on Tuesday night. Home opener for the Royals. In Game 2, the back set to Audrey Erickson, who hammers the kills. The Royals win the game 25-14 to go up 2-0. Game 3, Megan Weirkey with a kill down the line for the Jaguars as they build a slight lead. Good defense here by Hopkins. Ellie Maggs' block gets the point for the Royals. Then the set by Samantha Seliger-Swenson to Jasmine Martin, and the freshman delivers to give the Royals a 12-11 lead. Hopkins pulls away from there. The short set to Mag for the kill. The Royals win Game 3 25-18 and the match 3-0. They host Centennial on Thursday. We continue our tour of the local Tri-Metro Football Conference teams with a visit to Brooklyn Center. Here's Jay Wilcox with today's Prep Football Training Camp report.
Go get it, go get it. It's a new era for Brooklyn Center football. New head coach Willie Finley hopes to turn things around in a program that's been struggling.
We got a lot of good kids. They're committed to football. We're coming together as a family and bringing back the purple, bringing back what it means to be a Centaur and having some pride in wearing the purple. That's what we've been kind of establishing, bringing back that culture from 30 years ago when Brooklyn Center won a state championship.
Finley's been a co-head and associate head coach at Henry and Roosevelt in the Minneapolis City Conference in the past. The numbers, a concern in recent seasons at BC, are up a bit, as is the enthusiasm.
We got a new coaching staff, so I feel really good about that. The players are excited, ready to play. So, I think we do really pretty good this year.
While they didn't win a game last fall, the Centaurs did graduate just one senior, so there's plenty of experience. Some of the key guys to watch are defensive back, running back Tyrell Beasley, offensive and defensive lineman Tyree Jolliffe, linebacker and guard Tyler Joels, running back cornerback Jason Bartow, and tight end Alex Houghton. Sophomore quarterback Chester Whaley learned on the job last fall. The guys see some possibilities this season.
We have a lot of kids that like to hit hard, so we're gonna set it up around the linebackers to make a lot of blitzes and and hit hard. And offensively, we got a lot of different packages. We're not just keeping it one package. We're not going spread and running 80% of the time anymore. So we got a lot of different packages and mixing it up.
It's not going to be an easy fix, but Willie Finley and his staff are digging in to start the rebuilding process at Brooklyn Center. Jay Wilcox, 12 Sports.
Thanks, Jay. The Centaurs are hoping to break into the winning column after an 0-9 season in 2012. 8 starters return on each side of the ball. You'll be able to see the Centaurs in action on 12 Sports in their opener. Watch it live on the web or catch the replays on Channel 12 Saturday night or Sunday morning. They play Friday night at home at 7 against Blake.
There's only one way to go, and that's
right.
up, right?
Yeah,
So thanks,
absolutely.
John. Still ahead, a battle of the badges.
Local firefighters and police officers competing against each other for a good reason. We'll be right back.
It's a kind of a safe environment, drug and alcohol-free environment, but it's more than that. It's really a community of men that work together to rebuild their lives.
It is part of the road back for men after treatment for drug and alcohol abuse. There's the question of finding jobs and mutual support. And coming up on Thursday's 12 News, we'll take a look at Alpha House in Golden Valley and how it's helped get dozens of people back on their feet. That's Thursday, beginning at 4 on 12 News. Well, blood donations are always in high demand, but that's especially true in the summer when donating takes a backseat to vacations.
Memorial Blood Centers reports that all blood types are needed right now, and they've organized a special event to encourage donations. A donation truck camped out in front of Golden Valley's Public Safety Building this afternoon. It's part of Memorial Blood Center's Battle of the Badges, which is a friendly competition among first responders from across the metro to save and sustain lives through blood donation.
Well, hey, like anyone else, we're competitors, so if we can have our name up on the top that says we were the #1 blood donors, we'll take it. A little recognition never hurts anybody.
Officers, firefighters, paramedics, friends, and family are invited to donate blood in honor of their favorite department, and the department with the greatest number of participants at the end of the month wins. Never hurts to put a little friendly competition on the line.
No, that's right. Then
Yeah.
they get some bragging rights
That's right.
next year.
He sounded like he was ready to go.
Yeah.
That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Community Corner is coming up next. We'll see you back here tomorrow, again, beginning at 4.